Morgan Gibbs-White and Angel Gomez.
I think is sort of realistic and somebody that I think they would choose. I do think Guardiola is reasonable. I feel like I can see Balotelli doing a lot of things that didn't feel like one of them.
That seems more English.
It does. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Game of Two Halves podcast. We have made it to the 50 milestone. 50 podcasts. Only the third of this season, and the third on the new set, I believe. Or the fourth. Third, I think.
Yeah.
But 50 in total. So if any of you have been along the way for a majority of those, thank you very much.
It's the fourth in the new set, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it might be. I don't really know.
Yeah,
third or fourth.
We did a predictions. Yeah,
it's third week, but we did one the week before. Yeah. So I don't even know what's going on anymore. But for all of you that have been hanging around, very much appreciated, and thanks for watching / listening, or majority of it listening, because the video's a new thing. But yeah, we'll get straight into it, and this week we're going to kick things off. Well, actually, you've got your fun fact for everyone before we get into that.
Yeah, we're doing a fun fact. Levi doesn't know these, so we'll see if he knows them as well. So the fun fact for this week is the World Cup was... Oh, right, I thought you was doing
Sorry,
that.
no, I got an itchy leg.
No, so the World Cup was first started in...
The 30s.
Yeah, right? World Cup first started in 1930s.
I don't know what year exactly. I know it.
It was 1930. Yeah. Do you know who won it?
Uruguay.
Yeah. See, I knew you'd know.
They actually won 2.
Did they?
Not in the same year. Obviously, that's impossible. They won the first one. I think they've only won 2. They won the first one, and then I think Italy won the next 2. And then Uruguay won the 4th one.
Right, okay.
I think you can check that.
Well, there's another interesting fact if it's true.
They won 2 of the first 4 and never won one since. I don't think, anyway. I'm sure they don't have more than 2.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, yeah, I just thought I'd say that. Some people don't know that.
It's a good pub quiz answer. Stroke question. I reckon that's like 50-50 of people that know that. I reckon a lot of the new generation probably don't, because that's so long ago.
Yeah.
I think it's one that sticks out in your head. Once you do know it, you don't forget it, because it's not a team you would necessarily expect.
Yeah.
Like in your head, you're just like Germany, well, West Germany it was back then, Germany and like Brazil and Italy. And obviously they all won in the first sort of few. Like I say, Italy won 2, I think. But yeah, it is interesting. We'll see who knows. Yeah. If you knew that comment, I think a lot of people know, but we'll see. Did you not know before you saw it?
I didn't know it was in the 930, but I knew who won the first one.
Yeah. So from that, after our fun facts, we're going to go into a bit of a game, bit of trivia almost, bit opinion based, but we see this stuff online all the time, but it just gets us into the flow of the podcast. So we're going to go and do one of those games where we name a player and the other person doesn't say anything until they hear a player they think is better than that player. But we're going to do an England edition because we're going into the international break this week.
Yeah, it is an international special, so let's keep it English.
Yeah, why not? But we are just doing them as English players. We're not doing their performances in an England shirt or achievements in an England shirt. Not that there's actually many achievements in an England shirt, but mind you. But let you kick us off with some defenders.
Yeah, so Levi's obviously going to have the defenders, so I'll just ring a list of them off. So we're going to start with... So don't say anything until you hear a better player than Harry Maguire.
Oh, I hate this. He could stay on all day.
Right. Jagielka. Ledley King. Sol Campbell. John Terry.
John Terry, yeah, for sure. Sol Campbell, it's just banter in there. Realistically, I've probably got to give it to him, but that's my bias to Harry. Letting Harry have a longer run there. John Terry, I've got to give it. I
was getting worried.
Sol Campbell, I probably should have said it, but I just didn't want to. It was my answer. It wasn't going off until...
I was getting really worried, because then it would have gone like John Stones, Rio Ferdinand, Bobby Moore.
People would probably even say Ledley King, wouldn't they? But
yeah.
No, I've got to give Harry at least a couple.
Okay. Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Okay, let's see if people I don't know if people like this. So I've gone for midfielders. So don't speak until you hear a better English midfielder than Steven Gerrard, Dele Alli, Owen Hargreaves, Mason Mount, Declan Rice, Michael Carrick, Frank Lampard, Paul Scholes.
Yeah.
I had a few more in there than I thought both of them might have. I thought everyone after Scholes... I thought Scholes would be where you would go.
Scholes is the best English midfielder, not the best England player.
I was then going to go Beckham, Gascoigne, and I thought one of them was getting you, even if you didn't pick Scholes, but I was pretty sure you were going to...
Yeah, well, Gerrard is up there, but...
I didn't know if Lampard... I didn't know if you thought Lampard was as good or better. A lot of people sit differently on that, don't they?
I think it's borderline. I
think they are pretty close. Lampard...
Different player.
Had a lot more goals, didn't he, for a midfielder? Again, I don't really know for England. It was kind
the thing is,
so
Scholes,
young back then. But...
Scholes, Gerrard and Lampard, they're all different players.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
So
I think Lampard's the one out of the three that did get more goals than the rest.
Yeah.
Obviously, he still has that Chelsea record to this day. And I'm sure all the Chelsea fans pick him, like the way we pick Scholes and the way Liverpool fans pick Gerrard. So.
Yeah. I think, because I had to say that because I think Scholes gets in my all-time Premier League squad, so I had to do that.
He used to be on the wall, not anymore. We've had to change the shirts up for a bit, but he used to be on the wall.
Scholes used to be? Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
We had him up for a bit, didn't we?
I was in the 96 shirt as well when I was born.
The blue one.
Yeah, like that one. Right, stay quiet until you hear a better striker, than Harry Kane. Defoe, Heskey, Welbeck, Ian Wright, Andy Cole.
Yeah, I'll give it to Andy Cole straight away.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Right, okay.
I prefer Andy Cole and what I've seen of Andy Cole and his goal record over Harry Kane. Obviously, what Harry Kane's done for England is fantastic.
Yeah,
and you could argue that in terms of who's achieved more, he's right up there with the best. Did you think it was going to be Rooney?
The next two was Michael Owen and Rooney.
Yeah, I probably would have had all of them from Andy Cole onwards.
Yeah. Andy Cole, it's tough.
He's a better player than Kane.
I literally don't know.
But maybe that's the United bias. But in terms of goal, I mean, Kane's a fantastic goal scorer, but...
I would say Andy Cole's underrated, but I would probably say Harry Kane's a better football player.
You can't argue with his numbers, I think. When you look at his goal record in the Premier League and the fact that the players that are all around him, numbers-wise, all took penalties for their respective teams, and Andy Cole didn't take penalties.
Yeah, that's true.
And if he would have had that, I mean, he could have even made that record even more ridiculous.
Overall,
definitely very underrated, but my preferred pick.
Yeah, an overall player as a football player, I'd say Kane, but I think Andy Cole very underrated.
But yeah, Owen, I probably would have had to give it as well because I think his peak was higher than Kane's, and Rooney's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Michael Owen was unreal.
Ballon d'Or winner.
Yeah, unreal.
Last English player to win it. Don't know if we'll see an English player win it for a while. It looked like Bellingham was going to be the front runner.
Rooney was really close, weren't he? And then
I think he was quite unfortunate to be in that era with those players. Nobody really stood much of a chance, did they? But Rooney was good enough to. There's some people that have won the Ballon d'Or that aren't as good as Rooney easily.
Yeah.
Over the years, it's just that's the way it works sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll have to let us know if you agree with our picks. Did we go too early? Did we go too late?
I think you went too late on the Maguire one.
Yeah, but fuck that. I don't care. I'm just riling you all up. That's my fucking dog. I should have just let him stay on.
Yeah.
Bobby Moore, I'm just like...
Right. So quickly, going on to the next segment, and this is... I've give this Levi. Levi, doesn't know any of these, so... This is a little game, and you can kind of play it as you're listening, watching, whatever. So this is... Gazza or Balotelli?
Two mad bastards in their own right. Balotelli's becoming a theme on this podcast. He's made 2 consecutive appearances now.
Yeah, we love him. Right, these can be quite tough, but let's see if we can get a full house.
Okay. So they're all definitely things that happened. It's just who they happened to.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Some of them blow your fucking mind. Right. Let's start off. Tore his shirt off and stood there flexing after a goal at the Euros.
Balotelli.
Well done. We'll start off here.
That was memed
easy.
a lot when like they had him holding stuff because the way he was stood, he'd like put like KFC in his hands and stuff. I remember it.
Well, that was like, that was when we're like growing up and it's iconic. I knew you'd know that.
Yeah.
Walked in the canteen with nothing but his training socks.
Gascoigne.
Yeah. We've got Gazza there. Okay. He was fined for going to a strip club 2 nights before a game.
Gazza.
Balotelli.
Oh, I could see that's felt so much more Gascoigne. Everything that's a bit more vulgar, I feel like I'll be leaning towards him.
Wow.
Yeah,
I thought we was going to go.
I know it was on a hot start then.
Yeah.
Bastard.
Wow. Let us know after this if you get like full marks as well. He drove past a zoo on the way to training and borrowed an ostrich to take to training.
Gazza. That's got to be.
Have you not heard the story?
I feel like I might have done. Like it's one of those things, it sounded familiar, but I don't know for sure. But
It's so funny. Some of this stuff when I was reading it, oh my God. What makes you drive past the zoo and go, do you know what, I'm going to borrow an ostrich?
Not right. Off his head.
Yeah, right. Emptied a teammate's toilet bag and dumped in it and put all the stuff back on top.
Surely Balotelli's not got that in his locker.
It's grim, that.
I'm going Gazza again.
That is Gazza.
Yeah. I feel like I can see Balotelli doing a lot of things. That didn't feel like one of them.
That seems more English.
It does.
Right. Shot one of his mates on the arse with an air rifle.
Let's go back to Balotelli.
That was Gazza as well.
For God's sake. I felt like too many of them were Gazza. I was like, typical when you're going like, you're answering a quiz like A, B,
Yeah.
B again.
And that's what I've tried to avoid on
There's
it.
too many in the way. I was like, maybe Balotelli.
But yeah, so he brought his, I think it was like he brought his mate to train or something. I saw it early on like podcasts and it was actually like Micah Richards and Gary
BBC
Lineker and stuff. Yeah, they do it. And he was telling the stories and it was his mate that would just do anything for Gazza. And he goes, oh, go on, go over there and like let me shoot you on the arse or something. So he shot him on the arse and he was like, like that. And he goes, oh, that was so funny. Go over there again and let us do it on the other arse cheek. So he did it on the one cheek and then he did it on the other arse.
Good aim to get one each.
Yeah, and he did it as well. I was like, oh my God. Right.
Must have paid him for that, surely.
No, it was just, there was just crazy, weren't they?
Fucking hell.
Chased a teammate round their house with fireworks.
Fireworks feels like Balotelli.
Do you know what's funny about this? It was Micah Richards.
What, they chased?
Yeah, around Micah Richards' house with a
So he's not even in his own house?
No, because this was 2 weeks after the bathroom firework incident.
Oh, he does have a bit of a name for himself in this
He
regard.
goes round Micah Richards' house and starts chasing him around this kitchen with a firework.
That one was, because the other fireworks story is so famous, I feel like that one was a tee-up. Tap-in.
Yeah. Right, well done, you got that one. Stopped off at a local high school, used the bathroom, and then left.
Balotelli.
That was Balotelli.
Yeah. That doesn't seem like a good thing for anyone to do if you're an adult.
No, I was quite worried about this. I was like, you can't really go schools like that, but you know.
Imagine you're just having a piss in school and Balotelli just walks in, like
walks out and you're like,
He's just been for a shit. What the hell?
Right. After winning 25,000 in a casino, he gave a homeless man £1,000.
Balotelli.
Yeah, it was Balotelli.
I feel like he used to do quite a lot of. I remember videos of him. Like, didn't he like dress up as Santa once and start just giving money out? Like, I'm sure I've heard stories about him. He did a fair bit of charity work for the considering he was a bit of a mad guy.
Yeah, I thought because to be fair, Micah Richards said he was such a nice bloke.
Yeah, just off
I
his
head. I thought I'd put that in after the school one just to redeem himself.
Yeah, he's back he's back in the middle now again.
Right. He had to come off the pitch due to being allergic to grass.
That stinks of shit. I don't even know who to go for. There's no hay fever. Gazza.
It's Balotelli.
That one is so stupid.
Balotelli.
How can you have a career as a sportsman?
Do you not remember this?
No.
It was in a Champions League game.
Oh, I thought this was going to be like something stupid, like a friendly, and he's just like doesn't want to play.
No, it was in like a Europa League or Champions League game for City. He had to come off at half time due to an allergic reaction to grass.
It's not hay fever. It's like some actual reaction.
Yeah, it must have been a reaction. But then the newspapers and the stuff was going, he's allergic to grass. But it must have been like the type of grass that we use. I don't know. It was something weird. No, but he had an allergic reaction to grass.
Maybe I should have gone with Balotelli on that. It does feel in retrospect, I feel like nothing would stop Gazza playing.
Right. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I think I got 7, didn't I?
You got 7.
That's not too bad.
I think. Wait, you walked in the canteen. You got that as Gazza, so that was right. You drove past a zoo on the way. You got that wrong. You thought that was Balotelli.
No, I got that right.
Oh, you got that right.
The third one I got wrong.
Oh, the strip club. You got that wrong.
Yeah.
So emptied a teammate's toilet bag.
Yeah, that was right.
You got that right. Shot one of his mates. You got that wrong.
Yeah.
Chased a teammate around the house. You got that with fireworks. Stopped off at a local high school. You thought that was Gazza, so you got that wrong.
No, I got that right.
What, you thought it was Balotelli?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. It was only those two you've said and the last one that I got wrong.
You got 7 then.
Yeah. That's what we said, you idiot.
Right. No, but I thought you got the school one wrong, but I'll look back.
No,
at
we got that one.
See.
It was the strip club, the air rifle, and the grass that I didn't get.
Right.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think anyone beat me. Let's see.
Yeah, comment down below how many you got in that.
I think there was a few that were quite well-known stories, so I think people will do okay.
Yeah.
But there's a few in there that definitely could just be either.
Yeah, you had to throw some weird ones in there.
Like maybe people would know the grass one. I didn't know that. But like if that was a story at the time.
I definitely knew that one, yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely not something I remember.
The zoo and the ostrich, I did not have a clue. But I would have guessed Gazza because
it doesn't seem like it's in Balotelli's repertoire, that. He's more of a firework man than
I wouldn't put it past him.
Wouldn't put a lot past him after hearing some of those.
Right, so with it being the international special, we'll go on to the first England selection by Lee Carsley.
Yeah, first of the or the superseding Southgate era.
Yes. Do you know what I don't want them to do? If he starts doing well and they play really good football, I don't want them to just go, yeah, have it, and just do another. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know how I feel about it. If to me, because of how sometimes the football was a bit slow, and I think we had the ability, but didn't play as good as people would like.
I've got it in your thing.
Oh, nice one. That I think if a manager comes in, this Lee Carsley, for example, and we're playing good free-flowing football and beating teams comfortably, well, yeah, why not? But my gut feeling is they probably have some sort of long-term plan.
Yeah, I think so. After the season finishes, maybe.
Yeah, I think, we'll have to go in. And to be fair, this will be good because I've not actually... I knew your squad had been announced, but I've not actually looked at it. So this is like my actual reaction to the squad.
Yeah, this is like similar to me as well. So the goalkeepers, we've got Henderson, Pickford and Pope. I think that's pits for themselves, really.
Fine, yeah.
Yeah. Defenders, we've got Trent in there. Levi Colwell's gone in. Gahey's in. Consa's in. Livramento is in.
Yeah, I like him.
I don't know why he's there at the minute.
Versatile, I think. Worth, when you've got games like this, throw him in. You know, especially Trippier's announced his retirement from international football.
And so I think that's probably why he's in. Because you got Rico Lewis in there, Harry Maguire and John Stones.
So yeah, there's no... Walker's injured. So no Walker.
Your fullbacks.
Shaw's injured. Chilwell just not selected.
Chilwell's not. Don't even think Chilwell's fit.
Yeah, so apart from injuries, is there anyone that's missed out that we think should be there?
No, your fullbacks are Trent, Livramento and Rico Lewis there.
Yeah, it's pretty weak, but we have got injuries to Walker. Walker starts. Realistically, I think Luke Shaw probably still starts if he's available, whether people agree with that or not. So I don't really dislike that. I think it's fine. Mark Gahey obviously had a good tournament. Konsa had a cameo in the last tournament, was good.
Something's really just stood out for me on this next one. But yeah.
Oh, in the midfield?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to go?
Go on. Yeah. Defenders, I think's okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can't.
Considering
We
their
don't really
injuries.
have much at the minute.
Yeah,
do
so
we?
it's fine. Yeah.
Phil Foden, Conor Gallagher, Kobbie Mainoo, Cole Palmer, Declan Rice, Morgan Gibbs-White, and Angel Gomez.
Yeah. You ex-United player.
Where's that come from?
Didn't he have a bad injury last year?
Yeah,
Or
but
maybe I thought he was more recent than that.
yeah, but where's this come from?
Is he at Lille?
Yeah, but where's this come from? Like, surely he's not doing that good.
Well, isn't Lee Carsley manage the youth, right?
Yeah,
Has
so
he
probably
played for him before?
Maybe.
So maybe it's just somebody, especially like you can afford to have a few players come in where, like Livramento, for example, where it's a bit of a punt and you want to give them some minutes and see how they do.
Yeah, no, it's fair enough.
Obviously, they might have a future within the setup, so maybe it's just one of them.
I feel like he's been around for ages, but when we knew about him, he was 16.
Yeah, it's probably the reason. Like, so how old is he now? Like early 20s? Because I think he's at Lille.
Yeah, well, last time I saw him, he was at Lille. Yeah, he is 24.
Wasn't he? Oh no, I think I'm getting confused. I thought he was possibly in the youth setup with some of the players that we've had in the main team recently, but he's younger than the majority of those. So
I think he was.
Did he play under Solskjaer? I remember him getting cameos.
He got cameos, but it weren't much.
What manager? Who was the manager? Was that Solskjaer?
It was. I think he got some in.
I mean, if he's 24 now, you're going back 6 or 7 years ago.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. But he was always deemed as a pretty hot prospect.
Yeah, he just never
really materialised for United.
Yeah, he never broke through.
But Foden obviously nailed on. Rice nailed on. Kobbie nailed on. No Jordan Henderson.
No Wharton.
No Wharton, which...
Strange, because he is playing.
Yeah, I can't say I'm massively surprised, but based on his inclusion in the previous squad, you'd say he has a pretty likely chance of going, as opposed to someone else getting like a debut like Angel Gomez in the senior team.
He's got 3 centre mids in there. It's not great, is it?
Who else?
I know it's just for like a game or two, but
Gallagher at this point is a bit of a staple within the squad. If he doesn't play all that much football. Realistically, when we're at our best, I think the midfield 3 is Rice, Mainoo, and then we were hoping Foden, but he kept playing out wide, and we were playing. Obviously, you got Jude in there as well, but he was playing more in the 10.
Yeah. Forwards is Jared Bowen, Eze, Anthony Gordon, Jack Grealish is in there,
Back in.
Harry Kane, Noni Madueke, Bukayo Saka, and Ollie Watkins. No Ivan Toney.
Solanke's injured, isn't he? I was going to say, I think Solanke could potentially be in. Ivan Toney.
I don't think Ivan Toney gets in there ever again now he's gone Saudi.
No, I think you're right. If that move's materialised, he may as well announce his retirement from his short-lived international football career, because I don't think...
It's a shame, really, because he was doing well.
Yeah, I don't think based on... I know that some people have still been out in Saudi and played well for their respective teams. Kante, Cristiano didn't play particularly well, but Kante was very good. Laporte had a good tournament.
Yeah.
So I don't think it means that you can't, but when it's someone like Toney who's arguably only going to play as a sub or as a rotation for Kane, and Watkins is in that mix as well.
Yeah.
And probably Solanke when he's fit. I think he's now probably, with that move, put himself beyond the top 3 in the pecking order.
Yeah, if it's
at which point you're probably not going to get
gets
in
ahead of him now, I reckon.
Yeah, I think we'd have to have serious injury crisis up front to be calling upon him now.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because I think he's a great asset, and I think it's a wasted move at this point in his career.
He's the only one that can play like Harry Kane.
Yeah, like a bit of more of a target man, typical number 9.
Yeah.
So it's very disappointing. I was shocked. Obviously, Chelsea apparently made attempts to sign him.
They're in for everyone, aren't they?
They are, yeah. Like they were in for bloody Osimhen as well on deadline day.
Osimhen's been left out at the Serie A squad.
What, not registered for the Serie A Napoli team?
They said before they're not. They've left him out of the squad.
Just for the game, though.
No, it said Serie A.
So they're not registering him for the season, but then they also haven't sold him.
Might not be, no.
That can't be right. That's
insane.
insane.
That's what I saw.
It's because they've got Scott McTominay now, and they're actually going to use him as a number 9.
Yeah, use him as a number 9. Yeah.
That was the saddest news of the week. McTominay going. I mean, a lot of people. I think he was quite a polarizing character for United fans. I think if you're a real United fan, whether you really liked him or thought he was good, no one really disliked. In my opinion, he wasn't dislikable at all because
he was never a starter. He was always a squad player.
Yeah, but he was like from the academy. The effort levels were great. He gave us some good moments. He always tried his hardest. He spoke really well in the press. He was really good with the fans.
Yeah,
worked hard, like a really top professional.
Yeah.
So I think it makes sense realistically for the majority of United fans to just be like, bit gutted, wish him all the best. And to be honest, I'd love it to see that he goes and tears it up there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a bit gutted. I would have liked him to be a squad player we can call upon. I would have rather kept him.
Oh, yeah. I think we'd love to have that player coming off the bench, but we just don't have it anymore. Just to confirm, Napoli have officially excluded Victor Osimhen from the Serie A squad list for the season.
So that's insane considering they've not... Can they still... So they can probably still sell him, can't they? It's just our
They have different transfer windows, don't
But
they?
obviously, it looked like they had interest from the Premier League. That door's closed now.
Yeah.
So...
And I think Osimhen did want to go to the Premier League deep down, and I think it's backfired now.
At this point, surely, despite the fact he's not going to be playing, surely he doesn't want to go to Saudi, despite the fact Napoli have accepted a bid. Surely he'd rather go to Chelsea or, I don't know, like Arsenal or someone like... I don't think Arsenal were in for him, but he would have been a good fit at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Very strange one. You'd think they're going to be... If that's the case, they are saying, we want rid of him this window.
Yeah.
But where he can now go,
he's Saudi,
I'm not really
mate.
sure.
It's just Saudi, innit?
But surely not at this point in your career. It's far too early. I mean, I know that they are getting players that are a bit younger, but for someone like that was one of the most sought-after players in Europe after that first couple of seasons.
The thing is, as a player, you kind of don't want to go Napoli because it'll ruin... They want that much money.
You don't want to go Napoli?
What?
You don't want to go into Napoli, did you say?
Yeah, you don't want to go Napoli. Because if you're under contract and you do want to leave like Osimhen, you're not even going to get sold because Napoli want that much money and no one deals with them because they're that much of a pain in the arse to deal with.
Hey, we sold them a player.
We didn't buy a player off them though, did we?
No. I don't know.
No one buys a player off them.
I was trying to think who maybe our last player was who we did buy from there.
I don't think we've bought one from
We must have bought someone from Napoli at some point.
I can't remember any Premier League team buying from Napoli.
Oh, they must have. Wasn't that where Koulibaly was before he went to Chelsea?
Possibly. There's one.
There's one.
Well, I think they got ripped off for him.
That's all I could think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think teams like negotiating with Napoli.
That probably just means that they're good at what they do. They don't budge.
And they want too much money for the players. They wanted over 100 mil for Osimhen.
Yeah, but maybe if you set you set the bar that high.
Maybe if you did
someone can
swap
come
with
in.
Sancho.
What, for Osimhen? Christ. We're not even getting a lot for him, are we?
No,
like 25
Yeah,
mil?
so Sancho's made his move for 25 mil.
On loan, but with an obligation to buy.
Apparently, the loan is 10 mil, but we don't know.
Yeah, the people are saying a 10 mil fee, aren't they? Plus the obligation at the end.
So really, it's probably like, I don't know, 35, 40 mil. So.
This one will seem like retrospect, so I'm not sure if people will believe me, but this is a signing that has definitely flopped massively. And I was never once excited for the signing, ever. When we got linked with him the 2 years before we bought him, didn't want him. I know he was looking good and his numbers were good. I wasn't interested in him. That stank miles off of a player that was... You just knew it wasn't going to work.
I wouldn't have minded him, but at that time, the rumours going round, this is what I didn't get. The rumours going round was Ollie wanted Greenwood to move to striker, Sancho to play on the right, and Rashford to play on the left. Sancho was playing on the right for Dortmund in that latest year where he put up numbers
before
for
he came
assists.
to us.
Yeah, he was playing on the right. He was doing really good, and what I've heard from, like, obviously when Ollie went on the overlap and stuff, it seemed like they brought Sancho in for the right mid. They scouted him they went scouting for a right winger, brought him in, and he's turned around saying, no, I prefer the left and stuff. So that, like, sprung a bit of stuff.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
No, it doesn't. Then you've got the Greenwood situation, which we're not going to go on about. But that was just the mess completely. And I think they've made the mistake there. Like, if Sancho's brought in for the right wing, you stick him there. If you don't like it, it's fucking his fault.
Well, I don't think he seems that. So
I think he's better on the right because when he went to Dortmund at the end of last season, he was playing on the right and he was better.
I'll go out on a whim now. I agree with you, but I'll go out on a whim now. And it might be a bit of an easy thing to say now, but obviously this guy's still got quite a long career ahead of him. He's only 24. I don't think he will ever be a success in the Premier League playing for anybody.
Well, now he's gone Chelsea and that's a mess, I don't think.
No, so maybe that's a bit of a tee up and a tap in to say something as obvious as that. But, for example, if he went from there and moved somewhere else, might be unlikely, but regardless, or say he stays at Chelsea for a while, I don't ever see him being a success. Like, he's obviously a very good, like, sort of street kind of footballer. Like, he's very techie.
I think he keeps
he's not quick
ball
enough.
well and stuff.
I don't think he's very quick. His decision-making after taking on a man was relatively poor all the time in a United shirt. Didn't see him
United,
too many
you've
things.
Seen really good players flop at United anyway, so that's normal.
It is, but at the same time, we've only seen him be good in Dortmund, in Germany.
Yeah.
They go on saying, like, we were always familiar with his game, that tweet. They don't want him back. They had the loan and they didn't want to buy him.
I don't think they can buy him.
Well, they
say couldn't afford him, could they?
But he's going to Chelsea for 25 million. And
no,
not paying
the
until
wages
next
and
year.
stuff.
So, if you wanted him that much, though, you'd try and make something happen. So, clearly, he don't really want to go back that much, and they don't want him that much, because that deal would have happened.
No.
You know,
I do think it's a lot to do with the money, though.
So, I was never excited by it, and it was also one of those where, by the time it finally happened, you've been getting told for 2 years we're going to sign him. So, there's no excitement about it either, because you've been waiting to sign him for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then we signed him, and he was pretty underwhelming. I've said it now before, people ridicule. And obviously, I think Sancho's probably a better footballer than this next player I'm going to mention. But Anthony has had a better Manchester United career so far, in my opinion, than Jadon Sancho did in a longer period of time. He scored more goals. Anthony scored against City, Arsenal. He got an assist against Chelsea last year, scored against Liverpool, Barcelona.
Yeah.
And he has been very poor. He's very one-dimensional, and we overspent on him. Don't get me, I'm not making it out like I think Anthony was a good signing. What's Sancho done? Got the goal against Liverpool, had a tiff with the manager, gone on loan, made Twitter think he was a good footballer for one day when he had that good semi-final appearance, if it was a semi-final, for Dortmund. Then come back, not get, it looked like he was going to fight for his place or whatever, him and the manager have sorted it out. Now he's going on loan to fight for a place, it would seem, in a Chelsea team that's already got 10 plus players in that position.
Yeah.
Like, that, I don't know if
his
people would agree
career's
about
a bit of a mess at the minute.
I think it's over.
Yeah.
Like, I know that sounds awful, and he's clearly not a bad footballer. I don't like his character. I'm happy to see the end of him.
There has been rumours about his attitude and stuff, haven't there? So
Pep supposedly didn't really like his attitude. I don't know how true that is. And the move looked like a great move when he'd taken himself off out there. Like, he'd got himself into the England setup by playing well out there. And everything since then has gone terribly wrong for him. And I don't really see a way back, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Just going back, obviously, we spoke about the England squad. There's a few names obviously missing. Obviously, it's just Nations League. It doesn't really matter that much. They just brought the Nations League to make it a glorified friendly, really.
Yeah. Something more on the line, isn't there?
But in terms of the manager, say if Lee Carsley does well, you're thinking maybe he could actually be the manager. But if in an ideal world, who would you want? I know you want obviously the big names and stuff, but who makes the most sense to you as an England manager?
Is this if you can get anybody
to go into the next tournament?
Is this realistic? Does it need to be an Englishman?
Realistic, but someone that you want that's realistic.
I think the only semi-realistic one is Eddie Howe, because I can see a potential world where he isn't still at Newcastle this season if they don't do well enough.
I think Graham Potter's really realistic.
I think if they were getting Graham Potter, he'd already be there. He's not in a job.
Well, yeah, true. That is.
He's
true.
had a massive payout that he might even still be getting paid by Chelsea. I don't know how that works when that sort of thing happens. To me, if they wanted Potter and he was the man for the job, that'd be done already because he's unemployed. Gazza, fucking hell, Garrett's from me saying Gazza in that game. Gareth Southgate announced he was leaving at the end of that tournament. We've had quite a reasonable interval between him leaving.
Yeah.
And I think they would have just got him in already, I think it would have happened. So
I feel like they're holding out for maybe if Pep leaves at the end of the season. I don't think that's the realistic one they're holding out for. I think they actually are holding out for Eddie Howe.
Well, I think the thing is with Pep, I could see it.
Well, he likes the English players.
I think he's still of an age where he can still manage top European teams.
But what league do you go to now?
You could
Serie A, innit?
PSG.
Oh, yeah, but why?
Because it is just like City, isn't it?
Imagine that, though. He'd wipe the floor with it.
It's just like City in that he can pretty much buy who he wants.
Do you know what?
He's got good players there already.
Yeah.
And like City, they'd never won the European Cup. They keep failing to do so, despite the fact they had Mbappe, they had Messi, they had Neymar. Can he be the one to turn it for him? From what we've seen in his career, definitely. But yeah, Serie A also, potentially.
But the reason why he probably can't go Serie A is because it seems like all them teams are skint.
I think it ruins his rep because I don't think he goes there and wipes the floor like he has done everywhere else in his career.
A few years back, maybe like 4 years back, you would have said Juve, wouldn't you? Like a Pep
Probably.
and Juve would have been good. Do you know when Allegri were doing well with them?
Yeah.
I'd probably say like Pep would have done fucking mint with them then. But it seems like Serie A now is at a point where it seems like obviously Juve got done for all them charges. Like Napoli don't really spend. I don't think any Serie A clubs suit Pep. So like the PSG one makes the most sense, like you. But you're not challenging yourself.
Also,
are you?
if he was going to actually realistically in his head, he wants to maybe have a go into all these leagues at some point in his career, you probably leave Paris till later than
the easiest one last.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Really. I thought of something quite funny in my head. Then I don't know whether people will agree or even resonate with it, but do you know how obviously the Messi Ronaldo thing's a big debate in football? Whether people agree that it's a debate, but it is a debate. Like people have the conversation and have had the conversation all of both of their players' careers.
Yeah.
And obviously we're getting to the point where people are going to start talking about, Ferguson, Guardiola in the Premier League, or as a manager in general. Guardiola's had a very successful career even pre the Premier League. And I can always see an argument where, for example, if Pep continues to go, say
City don't get charged.
Say leaves City this year and he goes and wins in Italy and he goes and wins in France. And then people are going, he's the best ever because he's done it everywhere. And that's the argument people use for Ronaldo compared to Messi.
I was going to say, that's the argument you use.
But people
Ronaldo.
don't accept that. But I could see people forcing that narrative as well for Guardiola. I know that obviously Sir Alex won with Aberdeen as well. But, the lion's share of his career was Manchester United, whereas Pep's got Barcelona, Bayern Munich, City. And then if he goes on for others, what if he goes on and manages a national team and wins cups with that?
The thing is about that reasoning, who's to say Alex Ferguson, after he won the treble with United, he couldn't have moved then and gone to another club and won it there?
It's exactly the same as what people say about Messi.
Yeah.
Because
Messi could, I guarantee you, Messi could move to fucking City's team now and tear it up.
Yes, it's City's team because it's Guardiola. I don't think he fits every system in world football and can just perform to the level he did for all those years at Barcelona. Because in my opinion, he didn't do that at PSG. He was not the signing PSG thought he was.
The thing is, Messi's nothing like Ronaldo in terms of body and stuff. I think Ronaldo's built himself. He's taller. He's a machine, basically. Ronaldo is. He's built himself as a machine. Whereas Messi was like God-given talent. Like
my goat wasn't on growth hormones when he was in the youth academy.
No, but come on. It was
that gets brushed under the carpet far too much for me.
No, but come on, like growth hormones. I mean, some people have to take that. Like,
I don't think so.
As
Aguero probably didn't.
Well, yeah,
he was quite small.
If Messi was like 5 foot tall, he'd still have the fucking God-given talent of a ball at his feet. He would.
And you think that he would have been this same player? I don't agree. He wouldn't have achieved. Yes, you can't really say that, but I don't think he'd have achieved as much. There's clearly a reason that they had to go down that route.
Yeah, but honestly, that obviously we're not going to go into that. But
I think if he came to the Premier League, he would have the reputation of somebody like Hazard.
no way.
Because the only way he would have teared it up and been incredible is if he signed for Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. I don't think he could have been the Ballon d'Or winning Messi at any other team in the Prem.
I'm not going into it because I just disagree. So Eddie Howe, you think, and
Yeah, I think God knows how we ended up going. Oh yeah, when I was talking about Pep and Fergie, Eddie Howe I think is sort of realistic and somebody that I think they would choose. I do think Guardiola is reasonable. When I say Eddie Howe, I think that's very more realistic. But I think this is Guardiola's last year at City. Yeah. I do really believe that, and so based on that, could the England job tempt him? But at that, I think once you go to
think it's challenging.
I think when you go to managing national football, you normally don't go back to club football. A lot of managers do that and then stay there till they retire, or it doesn't completely not happen. But I think in more cases than not, you go to managing internationals in the latter stages of your managerial career.
The football's a lot different as well, and we've seen like how animated he can be on the training. And, to get his way across to people, does that need to be a weekly thing?
I also think, though, as well, that you might be right, but I also think maybe this is disrespectful of me, I don't think there's many good managers, elite managers, in international football. I think the majority of your good managers stay in the European leagues.
But like the Spanish...
So he would comfortably be the best manager by a long shot than anyone else managing a national team.
The Spanish manager, like we saw how good like the football was that Spain were playing, and we didn't even know who the Spanish manager was until we looked it up, and it was the under-21s one. So it seems like all the under-21s managers come to the...
They played well, but would you say by England and Spain, who obviously both made the final, how many teams really performed as well as they can?
It was really
underwhelming, and I do put a lot of that down to the players look knackered. They did look knackered. The games were drawn out. It wasn't a very classic tournament, was it?
That's the thing. Like we're playing more and more. We're not playing more. The players are playing more and more. Like on a weekly basis, and it's just like when it comes to these big tournaments that we just love to see, like the World Cups. Imagine the World Cup coming next. No, it'll be the Euros next. Imagine the Euros coming next and you just got players that are knackered.
The Euros. You're losing the plot.
World Cup, sorry. Yes, I was right originally. I just double guessed. Right, yeah, imagine the World Cup coming and you've just got players absolutely shattered and just...
It will be. Yeah. And then they're playing in US, Mexico, Canada. They'll be travelling around that much.
Yeah.
And they'll have been knackered from playing all season. I mean, I just think the quality has... It looked like the quality suffered for me a little bit in the Euros.
That's another thing, If they get a manager in at the end of the season, it's not even a rush because you've got 2 years till the next.
Yeah, you're only playing like qualifiers. And
Well, I mean, maybe you do want your new manager in them qualifiers.
For the qualifiers,
stuff,
But you'd say that England should be. I know we can't take anything for granted based on the way they performed over the years. Before we've had this better team, that a team with that quality should be able to get through.
Yeah,
maybe without a top manager, you don't go and win the competitions, but you should be able to bloody qualify for him with a team that's got the talent that England do.
Yeah.
So Eddie Howe, the dream's Guardiola. That's obviously the dream.
That is the dream, yeah.
You'll never hear me say that in any other way.
Say Klopp now and again, but I mean, I'd happily have
Klopp as well, but I don't think he would take something like that on based on the fact that he stepped away from Liverpool and wanted either to not manage at all or for give himself a bit of time.
I definitely think he manages again, but it'll be a different country.
Yeah, and then a manager that's that good, do you go and do internationals at this point in your career? You could do, but I think...
Maybe Germany if it opened up, but Nagelsmann's not doing that,
to Dortmund,
that bad,
maybe.
Is he?
Could you see that?
No. I actually see Jurgen Klopp going to a different league, like maybe a Serie A or something. Get maybe a Napoli or an Inter Milan playing really good football.
Not in Spain.
No.
I think the Serie A needs and is sort of improving again, isn't it? I feel like when we were younger, it was the best league for a while.
It was, yeah.
And I don't think it has been since then.
No.
Since that time at the top, it's been the Premier League and the Spanish League have been the best.
You know, that's why they're saying about City, like about the charges and stuff. They're saying that the people around the football like table, they're saying that really, for the bigger picture, they don't want City to get done for these charges because they've seen what it did to Serie A, and when Juventus got dropped for all them charges and stuff, like it hurt the league.
I think
it'll hurt the Premier League if City do.
I'm not sure. Like, what do they lose?
Reputation.
They lose superstars, and you lose one of your teams that are in the big six, but you've still got Arsenal are probably a bigger club. Chelsea are a bigger club. I actually think probably every team in the big six is bigger than City.
So what you're saying,
popularity.
We'd be better off without City in the league?
No, I'm not saying that, but I don't think it'd be a calamity like... I think Serie A, the standard anyway, was already on the decline when that Juventus situation took place. You lose a massively big team that are a growing team in terms of the fan base because it's just the way it works. If you have a team that dominates for a period of time, the kids that grow up, a lot of them do support that team. It's what happened with United, and I imagine happens all over. But in my head, based on popularity, despite how good they are, I think all the other teams, Tottenham, I don't know, but certainly Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, United, have all got bigger fan bases than City.
Yeah.
Argue amongst yourselves. I don't know.
I think that was a given. It's not a debate, is it?
Well, I don't know. You got to see from a City perspective what they think.
No chance. Right, we're not obviously talking about like Super 6 and fantasy because we're actually recording before the games have been completed. Well, the Saturday games have been completed, but we had to record today earlier due to different things. So so we can't go into the Super 6 and fantasy and the Le Bon now. Yeah,
if you want to join, just message us on Instagram or something like that. Any of our socials.
Yeah.
If you've not heard of it, it's a bit like Super 6, except you put a result for every Premier League game, and we have a stake. We've just been setting it at £2 entry because it's just a bit of fun. You still get a little bit of a take-home if you win. And you can join the Game 2 Halves League and compete for the winning pot, which at the moment is, like £12. So, so get involved. You can make it 14.
But to be fair, obviously we always put £2 as a minimum bet, but some weeks we might go, right, guys,
let's do a £5 this week.
Let's do a £5 this week, see what we get to, and if you get enough people, you can get to £100. It's worth it. So
just a bit of fun. So if anyone likes the sound of that, drop us a message on one of our socials. Say Insta's probably the best. I'd say to get
we'll send you the link.
And you can join. First come, first serve. Fantasy, I played my wild card this week. 3 weeks in. That might be the quickest I've ever played it.
I have just got a message as well saying, I didn't do Haaland as captain. I didn't think he'd do it 2 weeks in a row. So I think Haaland scored.
Hopefully he's not scored. Let's check that while we're live. I didn't captain him not because I'm an idiot, although that may be true. He scored 2 so far. It's just a bit boring, isn't it? It's like, maybe if you want to go on and win it, you should do that. But as much as I want to win FPL, I want to enjoy playing it. And enjoying it for me was maybe going for someone else than Haaland every week. Like I went for him last week.
I captained him when we got 2, didn't he?
I nearly brought Rico Lewis in because he's only 4.5 million. But my gut feeling is he loses his place as soon as Kyle Walker's back. Which might not be the case, but I didn't want to take another punt on the Pep Roulette wild card in a player in that might not play every week. So
yeah.
Rico Lewis looks like a great asset at the moment, though. Haaland, obviously, if you don't have him in, that is crazy.
It will be good to see how Rico Lewis does for England. Will be good.
I think
just to get a look at him
in an England underrated. Shirt. I think it's hard for players sometimes that break through at Manchester City, or not even just break through, but even people they sign. Because apart from City fans, do they get the credit they deserve? Because people are just like, oh well, they're that good anyway. Like anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Like, and he's clearly as a good player. He's young, could have a fantastic future for England. So he deserves to be called up. He's had a really good start to the season. He's been getting a lot of minutes. But yeah, I wildcarded mainly just because the price rises are happening, the price decreases are happening, and I didn't want to put myself in a position where I couldn't get the players I wanted. So I've just gone early. And I also think with the dynamic this year where, you know how it used to be you could leave your transfers and it gets to 2 and stops. Like, you know, you'd say you don't make one and you roll.
Oh, yes.
You don't make one, you roll. It gets to 2, you never get any more than 2. It goes up to 5 now.
Oh, does it?
So in my head, I'm like, if you can wildcard to make your team good for X amount of weeks, and you're not really going to have to make too many changes because you've like picked players that have got good fixtures. If you manage to stack 5 transfers or 4 transfers, I mean, it's not far off a wild card anyway. Or even if you made 5 and you take an 8-point hit to make 7 changes, you've basically got so much more flexibility now. So I've gone early. You can all call me a bottle job if you want, because I know most people won't have used it that early.
Yeah, but you've got another one after Christmas. It's fine.
Exactly. And you've got the stacking up to 5.
Yeah.
And we've got this mystery chip coming in January.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, they've basically said, you know, because you got free hit, bench boost, triple captain, and you have your 2 wild cards.
Oh, what would a mystery one would be?
Well, they'll tell you what it is.
Yeah,
so
well,
at the minute
what do you
it's
reckon
a mystery.
though? Like,
well, I think take some inspiration, or maybe they've taken some inspiration from the Euros one. So you've got like how they had that limitless one, which is like a free hit for a week, but you have unlimited budget. Or maybe, maybe they let you for 1 week pick 2 captains or something, you know, like something like that. But the thing is, I think they've said it's a mystery chip because I don't think they've decided what it is yet.
Yeah.
I think they're probably throwing some ideas around. So if you're watching, guys, I think the limitless would be good. Like, imagine 1 week you can just bring in, you've got unlimited budget.
So you get like Haaland, Salah, Son, and all that in it. Yeah.
Double captain would be pretty cool.
Double captain would be.
You know, if you ever had like, imagine double game week.
You had
good players have got doubles.
You had Palmer and Haaland last week.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be sick, wouldn't it? So I think they're both pretty good ideas. If anyone else has any ideas, maybe put them in the comments. We'd like to read them. But those are the best 2 I've been able to come up with.
Yeah.
I'm not having any credit for Limitless because that already exists. But double captain.
A lot of people did like the Euros one.
It's just a different dynamic. I think it's a bit more difficult because you do have to go on it every day. But in terms of the Premier League, although you might not have to do it every day, it's all season. It lasts a long time. So we'll see where I am at the end of this game week. I don't think I've paid dividends so far for playing my wild card, and I imagine a lot of people have captained Haaland and I haven't. So I've gone for Palmer this week. Chelsea have got Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
defence looks a little bit leaky. Palmer had a great game last week, especially on fantasy as well. But as it stands, it looks like he's going to need at least 2 goals to make sure that was the right decision for me. Salah could have been a good pick as well. You know, Liverpool get goals against United in recent times.
Yes. And Burma against Southampton.
That was a good pick, I'll give you that.
Thank
I
you.
didn't rate it because it's such a risk with all the big players that you could pick, but you could say it's paid off.
Yeah, but I had Son, who's playing Newcastle. I had Salah, who's playing United.
Have you not got Haaland?
No.
Oh, so that's 1 off the table for you anyway.
I had Havertz, didn't go with him because they were playing Brighton.
Brighton started well this year.
So I thought Southampton a dog egg and Burmo's playing them, and Burmo's probably most likely to get the goals for them. So I captained him.
It might you might see by the end of this week, he might have been the best player you could have picked in your team.
Yeah.
Which is a win. I hope you guys enjoyed it all the same. I know it's a little bit different without the match week review, but we will be back to that.
Yeah, this one was just it's a bit of a bump in the road, this one. Sorry about this, but it was a bit short notice. Personal things going on. We had to film it today, short notice.
Before the games, really, innit?
Yeah. So, it was just a little bump in the road, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. So,
yeah. Well, with that, if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for sticking around and watching the whole thing. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new, or if you're not subscribed for whatever reason, please do.
Drop a comment if you got how many you got on that Gazza and Balotelli segment as well.
Yeah, I think 7 was okay, but I feel like it's beatable. I feel like people could do better, but who knows? I'm pretty sure I said before no one's going to beat me, but they definitely will. But yeah, and if you're listening, watching, whatever you're doing, thank you very much. If you're on Spotify, if you could rate the podcast, that would be a massive help. You can also follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts to make sure you never miss an episode. Subscribe on YouTube because the podcast gets uploaded there every single week now, and we'll also be uploading new content there over the coming months. TikTok and Instagram, we're always present on there. And if you want to reach out to us just to chat or whatever, you can comment on the videos or get in touch via Instagram, especially if you want to join the La Bomb League before it gets full. Hot in demand. We've got 6 members. So We'll see you soon. It's been the 50th episode. Thanks for those of you that have listened or watched a reasonable amount of that 50.